Hello guys, and welcome back to another Daily Waves on Cryptos. It's been more than a week since our last video, and we're here yet again for another update. As always, of course, we're going to have a quick look on BTC, the alternatives and the variations, mainly in the short term. Of course, the focus is going to be on the variations. And finally, and after so many votes that have been included in Ethereum, yes, we're going to see also the analysis on the Ethereum, which is of course very similar to BTC. It's like doing the same, and I think that might be probably the reason behind people not voting for it. But anyway, I'm going to have a quick look on both, and we are going to identify, most importantly, some levels. Okay, and this is what really matters, to be fair. So this is what the QIC Core Inner Circle team voted for. Community, not team, for this week, and in, well, today is when I'm doing the video, so it is the 10th of July, and as you well know, none of this constitutes investment advice. It's educational. In case you have any comments, guys, feel free to leave them on the YouTube comment section, and if you are interested in joining my Discord community as well, there is a link in the caption, and please feel free to do so. Likes and shares also appreciated. So without further ado, let's take a look at BTC first and then Ethereum. So starting off with the main count of BTC. We talked about this being the Super Cycle 3, and we're going down for Super Cycle 4. This is our main for now as an A, B and a C. And by the looks of it, okay, and someone could also argue about that being the low. It's an alternative for me. We are due to, we're not done yet in my opinion, finishing wave 4, which means we have one more leg to go to the downside. Okay, so if we look at A and B with the FIBO extension tool, simply, we'll look at 13, the 1382 extension getting us down to 1731, and then 1453, and then down to around 11k. Okay, this is the AB distribution. When we look at the net distance through waves, 0 to 4, we get 16k K also. We get 13, 12, and then 1030. Because below that as well, we go down to around the 8k. Too far for me. Okay. And actually, let's leave it there for now. And what else we see, since we have actually 1 to 3, and we can assume approximately that is going to be where wave 4 ends for now, at least, right? Then we also see the 1550 become a level. Then you go down to 1230. Okay, and then we'll go down to around the the territory of just around 10 above and below. So these are supposed to be some sort of clusters, some magnet zones. These levels are going to attract some sort of selling or buying activity. Okay, now importantly, guys, we have done an attempt to cross above, back within this actual base channel, but we failed. Today we're back below that channel. Now, breaking within the channel doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to go up. Okay, it just means that the acceleration of the downside trend, it's taking a break. Okay, coming a little bit closer. Okay, let me just also hide the volumes here. We do know that we have done the 1, 2, and the 3. Starting off the beginning of this last leg, okay, we actually did the 38, which we missed last time we attempted because we faced this sort of resistance from the base channel. What we currently see is that prices are really hanging on, actually markets are hanging on about around what's going to happen around here, right? But we did the 38. And as you well know, guys, the fourth wave, according to guidelines, usually does the 38. But a 38 is usually on its own accord. So it should be around here, which makes no difference if we start from 2 or from 1. So 38 at 22 done. The next level up, according to the Fibo, right over here, is 23.68. This is where we might start giving a bit more probability for a potential low down here being the case. But the low doesn't necessarily mean we'll go up for new highs, right? We'll talk about the alternatives soon. So remember that level. Now, looking at the extension of waves WX and Y, WU and X, so I'll have here 23.25 is also the equality between W and Y. Okay, and of course, something that we need to follow, and you have to follow, it's this sort of channel. Okay, because getting extended a bit on the wave Y, it's possible to 24.60, 25, 26. But once we get to 26.60, this is when we change our count. Okay, in this medium term at least. Until then, I don't see any reason. The other channel that we can draw, it's this one, 0, 2, and 1, and we come down here. So perhaps if we go higher, we're going to get stopped around here and then descend. Now, to the very short term down here, and with the approximate finish in the fourth, I know we get like to around 1530 or so from where we did before, but also don't forget the measured move, which is, if we assume wave Y ends here, we're looking at around 14k. But before that, we look at 1660 and 1618, and then the 1528, which means we'll have a few more levels to play around on the downside should we continue to fall. Now, guys, let me just pull that in here quickly and show you the alternatives. This is actually a variation, it's not even an alternative. And I talked about this, and I talked about that I'm leaning towards this as the days pass more and more. Okay, now that sees this move to the downside as a 5-wave leg. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you that because you see this 1 and 2 now, I'm just bringing you 2 scenarios into one, because otherwise we'll have 10 different charts. So it doesn't necessarily mean the fifth is finished. Okay, I actually think we get one more down anyway, but it could be the case, and that would be 1 and 2 for a flat, and then we will simply go up in wave 3, then 4, and then 5 for A and B and C. And of course, this ABC, supposedly, if we are finished down here, can go up to anywhere between 38 and 62. So we could see like 41k again. Okay, so that is going to be a cluster. Now, it will depend on whereabouts we're finishing. We're going to finish if we go there a wave A. Okay, so if we assume we finish A around the 38 and we get a B down to 23, then the 62 and the 100 Fibo extension become a cluster at around 41k. Okay, so it's something that is quite possible should we head towards that direction. Okay, for now we don't see any clues. And the other idea, of course, is that we're still correcting here. We're gonna see the fifth, then we do the B and the C. Okay, now one of the alternatives we've been looking is, of course, a W, X, and Y over here. Right? You remember this? That was our main for a while, and I said I would change that once we get below 23k. You remember that? Also, was it 24 or something? Look at this. I mean, yeah. So it's still possible though, because we might still be in for W, X, and Y, or even an A, B, and a C. Like an expanded flat. Now the variation of the cycle degree, I think that should be a third here, but anyway, never mind. A W, X, and a Y with wave Y ended or not, as we did before, of course. We'll go up, or we'll do one more down and we'll go up. We have also the combination here, which guys will have to get exactly a move up to around the 24K with a very, very tiny violation to assume this is an ending diagonal. So you got the fifth finishing end here. Again, A, B, and C for the ending diagonal all the way down, right? But that is a short-term upside. Violation of the wave one and then all the way down. And the violation has to be like very small, because otherwise our fourth wave is going to be larger than our two, which means it will invalidate the ending diagonal pattern. Now, let's get to the interesting stuff, looking at the short term. So this is what I'm expecting, guys, okay? I'm looking at the W, X, and Y here. Okay, this is what I see. Of course, there is different things everyone can see, and I also see different things, but I have my reasons to believe that this is the main. So here we go. A, B, and C for W, A, B, and C for X, and the X is a flat. And then we have a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more leg to the upside for 5. Okay, so in the last leg to the upside, it's an ABC, by the way, in wave Y, right? We have an a B, which is a W, X, and Y. X and Y are both flats. And then we'll go for 1. Our 2 is a running flat again, and then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, internally for the third. A, triangle B with a wave V that I don't like, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more down for 5, in my opinion. And then, guys, look at this. That's what I see. One more up, and off we go. Okay, now, if we look at A and B, okay, and we'll bring in, actually, let's do it, let's do it from the bigger to the smaller. 2287, 100%, W and X equal. That's one thing to remember. A and B extended a little bit, as you can see, but 1618 comes at the same level, so that's a cluster, right? And then we also look at this wave to the upside, 1 and 2. Look, we did the 1618, and then the 200, which is where I expect that to end, is around 2285. So I've got 3 different degrees and 3 different structures, all of them, guys, pointing to the very same level. 22, 85, 90, whatever, just below 23. Can it go 23? Easily. Obviously, we're not discussing that, but we are looking at the cluster of 3 different degrees and 3 different structures now. Okay, so also, of course, we need to look at the correction from down here, which is the beginning of wave C, right? That has just corrected down to the 50%, and it is important that we stay above the 50%, guys, because when 50% is broken, the sentiment changes. Now, it could be possible that this is 1 and 2, and this is 3 and 4 and 5. I don't think so, because I think we'll first go down and then we'll go up. So the fourth might be in here. So maybe this is 1 and 2, and we see the continuation to the upside. So it is possible that we might have ended here. When we look at the third only, this is a bit of a downward move, right? So I'm not sure whether we should accept it or not, but either way, for now, we need to see what's going to happen in the very short term. We're talking about the next few hours. Okay, so if we break lower, you might ask, what happens? Guys, if we break lower, we need to look really at the 2050. Okay, 2050. Because that being A and B, fine. But that the B could be here. That might be 1 and 2. All of this here. And then we might have some sort of 3 in here. And then the 4 and the 5. It doesn't look too likely, but it is something possible. And this structure over here, guys, you will see in Ethereum is a bit different because it looks more right. So we pay attention to the 2050 or so. Okay, and at the top, don't forget, was it 2285, 2290? This is our level. Okay, this is where I think was going to finish. Because why? Because I'm missing one wave. That's why. But there are, of course, variations here, guys. Look at this. I put them pretty much all together. And that's, of course, assuming that's the third, right? One of the variations is that, of course, one is that this is W, X, and Y. We ended here and we're going to move lower, right? You can understand that. And in that case, we should be looking for the break of the 50, which is around 2050, but also going all the way down from the third to the Y. Look also at the 20K, which is the 50% of the whole leg to the upside. Another thing we'll have to pay attention is the channel between these structures and, you know, the bottom specifically. Now another thing we need to, of course, acknowledge is that this could be a wave A, right? And this could be a wave B, okay, as we did before with W and X, of course, on BTC, which means we've got an A and a flat. And instead of an ABC here, we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. But that to me is a variation because I don't see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. That's the problem, right? I don't. But what do I see is something like, for example, my A wave being here, right? Actually, that should probably make more sense if I had that here. So see, something like this. A, B, and C for B, and then we'll go up for C, and then we fall. So our wave B is going to be a flat in this particular case, and that solves the A, B, C, or even W, X, and Y here, you know? So that's the yellow one, guys. The yellow one is a flat here, then up and then down. And the red, A and still B, or A and B, doesn't matter. But over here, we have, what do we have, guys? An ending diagonal. Look, we just overlapped. So let's put some numbers to this. Actually, we don't need to put numbers to this, but we just need to check how exactly that works. Okay, first thing, we need to really acknowledge that we have extended above wave 1. So it's going to be an open diagonal. And open diagonals are very rare. Okay, we have to also acknowledge that. Which means that if this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 3, well, we need our fourth wave to be larger than the second, which means we can expect prices, easiest way to do it on TradingView, by the way, to go down to at least 2030. Okay, 2030 at least. So maybe I can just pull this a little bit up here. Perhaps 2030 is going to come from a very nice extension here. Look at 2080, 18. This is the extension down here, and there we go. Okay. So these are the variations, guys. We saw the alternatives and the mains, so we can just get on with Ethereum. So this is our main for the Ethereum. Okay. Same thing, actually not exactly the same in the long term, but anyway, we're mainly focusing on the A, B, and C here. Okay, and we've got wave 1 and 2, in my opinion. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and an elongated fifth for the third. So, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. So again, I see more downside coming here. Okay, now if we look at, well, yeah, this is where we started from. There we go. Oh, hold on. Look at this. We just stopped. Actually, falls broken the 38. Next level down is around the 600, guys, from one side. From the other side, top to bottom. Look at this. 950 is already done. So the next down is at 700. Okay, now 695 and 628 don't make much difference. And of course, one more. Assuming the fourth is here, done, because I have a double top. Actually, we didn't come to this level. I will show you internally. Approximately 750, and then what you got down there is 540. So, and the measured move 600 again, but in between you've got 760, 800, and that's it. These are the numbers, the levels we need to pay attention to. Okay, guys, I'm not going to take you through the alternatives. Imagine exactly the same alternatives as with the BTC. Now, as you can see though over here, okay, we have a different sort of labeling because this is extended in a different way, okay, and this structure is a bit different here as well. But either way, we're still outside the base channel, okay, and when we're outside the base channel, we are way further we have gone way further from the breaking point, and we are far from coming closer to it, okay, whereas on BTC we're nearly in. That doesn't mean that BTC is going to move higher than Ethereum or whatever, but that just means that the trend that we have actually seen over the past few, I would say, months, yes, on Ethereum, including the breakout was more detrimental for the price of Ethereum, and of course it's making it a bit more harder. It's more harder to get back on track. Okay, that's what I meant. We are still in this accelerating, decelerating trend though. That's the reality. Okay, but exactly the same thing here, from down here all the way up, pretty much, not exactly, pretty much the same. Why not the same? And you say pretty much. Well, guys, we didn't do a fresh high. You see this? It might be a few cents here, but we did not do a fresh high. Plus, the structure from down here looks a bit more different. We have a very nice leading diagonal in Ethereum, but we do not get that in Bitcoin. Okay, so I also have the variations here as well, but the white is always my main, okay, because it's the ones that I'm using. Now this triangle also is a bit it's a bit more acceptable to be in this particular place rather than on BTC. And then this structure makes a bit more sense because we don't have wicks like going all the way up, not allowing us to actually draw anything different. And well, the reality is that, you know, this count is a bit different, but the main point over here is that we are still looking that we are in wave 4. Now 1 and 2, however, and 1 and 2, 3, well, 4 and 5 could have finished our third here, and that might be 4 and 5. Okay, I don't personally think that our third would end here. Okay, it looks a bit, you know, off, but it is possible. Actually, it is more possible than BTC's leg to the upside. Okay, so from bottom, oh, excuse me, hold on. From bottom, this is what we'll have to pay attention to. Now, the fact that we haven't done a fresh high as well here gives us a bit more confidence that has one more leg up. So if we do get the other leg up, where do we go? Look at this. Equality comes at 1441. Because we're a bit further from that now, we're going to have to add the 78.6 as well to see where else we're heading. 1330. Okay, now let's use the same in the structure internally. The 1 and the 2, for example. Well, 1300 is the 200 FIBO, but the 161, you see, we did a bit more. I think we did 178. Let's quickly check. 1.786. You see, pretty much there. What does this mean? That from 61.8 to 78, we add the 223. So we could go, we just simply add, guys. Eh? We could go to, hold on, 2.236, which is around 1343. Becomes much better level like this, right? We simply add the same sort of variable, the same extension above 16122, okay, to create the new guideline. It's as simple as that. And then we can also do the internal one, although it doesn't really have as much. That's to 3 and to 4. But when we look at the levels, where it looks like we are, we've got some clusters up here around 1330, 1340, 1350 max, I would say. Okay, so this is a very important level for us. Now, we have 1 and 2 and 3 supposedly done, right? From the bottom. Okay, and this is an ABC, by the way, right? That's the main at least. The 38 is our level. And we'll look at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it might be like, okay, we're done here. But let's not forget, we could go lower. We could meet support at the base channel, or we can create a double bottom at the previous wave 4, which is very usual to see in crypto, in Elliott waves. The 4 and the 4, the 4, the 2 stop at the same level. Plus, this is a cluster, guys. The 50 is also here. So 1230 becomes our support for now. This is a level that might attract more buying power. For that reason, it's going to go down, right? And invalidation at 1116, very close as well, right? Now, the invalidation wouldn't necessarily mean that we're done and we're going down and we're busted. What it will mean that might turn into an open-ending diagonal, which we don't like. Okay, if we break below the like 1100s here or even 1150, we can start increasing the probabilities of moving lower down. But if we move lower down, then we come to the variation. That might be a W, for example, and X and Y, and we finished and we're going to go all the way down. Or it might be even an ABC that is finished. Okay, that's one thing to remember. The other one is this. That could be W or A. We might still be in wave X or B. So ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 also possible. Then we'll go up and then we'll go down. So very similar with BTC, right? Because we're done here like 99%. So it is a wave B for a flat. As simple as that, right? Right. So it's important. I'm not saying wait until we break down there or down there, but I'm just saying how probabilities work, right? The closer we'll get to invalidation, the more the chances that we give to a particular to the opposing or to the alternate counts. Okay, now let's look at this. NB is done. 1146. Okay, we talked about this. 1125, very strong support. So if we do break 1146, 1125 might be where we start, moving a bit higher. Now over here we've done the 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 3. Look at this. We've already stopped. So maybe we are already done here. Okay, I'm just saying, maybe we're already done. In case we start moving higher, we want to cross above the 1212. That's the 50 again. And the 50, guys, you cannot imagine how important it is. It will really, if you start using it, will really improve your trading results. We leave it here floating for now. And let's not forget the levels we talked about, okay? And of course, the expectation that one more leg to the downside is coming. Now, if we break any of these levels, just consider the move continuing. That's the upside or to the downside. We talked about a top around 1350, if I'm not mistaken, but also about the equality, which comes a little bit higher. As a guide, always use the base channels. So that's going to be all. I hope you enjoyed. Leave your questions, share, like, join my Discord. It's free. There's also paid version. Ask questions, interact, and also, you might find my tweets useful as well. I started posting a bit more there to help people out in these hard times. Anyway, that's all for this video, guys. Take care, and we will speak again next time, probably within a week's time.